just kind of skipping along the surface, like a stone thrown. If you know the skill of skipping stones, it's amazing, and it's really cool to watch people who are incredible with it. We saw this guy, we were in North Shore, Hawaii. It was awesome, and he was skipping them. We were counting. I mean, he got like 12 or 13 skips on this thing, and we just stopped everything we were doing and was like, wow, this guy, he's got some skills. Now, he also had some arms, had some pretty good biceps. Dude was younger than me, but I was like, bro, props to you. That was amazing. So anyways, we marvel at the depth and the skill and the mastery of things, but also there's a lot of value in just the day-to-day use of thoughtful ideas. So one way to approach that is through what I like to think of as frameworks of thinking. You could call it scaffolding. There's a lot more beyond just building construction that scaffolding gets into, even in the areas of emotional connection and talking through teaching and how to help folks. But in the way of thinking about something, I challenge you and I ask you, what is your framework? Have you thought about how you think? Sometimes this is called metacognition. Now, that's a kind of a new age term, it feels like. But really, how you think is just as important as what you think, if not more important. And processes, procedures, ways of an approach are really helpful for figuring out ways to think. And so I encourage you to list out some frameworks. Think of ways that you approach something. For instance, I have a framework when it comes to approaching parenting. My wife and I have talked through a lot of this framework and the approach. And again, semantics aside, however, whatever you call it, whatever you think about with it, you have a framework toward how you think about driving. Whether you realize it or not, that approach has been built over time if you drive. Now, if you're listening to this and you don't drive, ignore that point. Frameworks for approaching a meal. And some of these come from tradition. Some of them come from what we are familiar with and what we grew up with and what was modeled for us. But overall, as I've thought about thinking, which is kind of a funny, drilled down derivative of thought, frameworks are a really cool thing to explore. So I want to explore those a little bit more. I'll probably, just get into all different ideas with it, but I really wanted to talk about the framework of relationships and the framework of how we approach other humans in relationship. Now, you can have relationships with, intangible things, such as my relationship with going to bed at a reasonable hour. It's a challenge for me. I'll just straight repent, and I will confess and admit it, and I'm working on repenting. My framework for a relationship with an intangible thing such as food, my framework with exercise, with things that I know are healthy for me, I just don't necessarily think about them in the way that is probably going to put them top of mind. I have a framework or an approach and a relationship with information. I have a relationship with social media. And so thinking through how you think about stuff is really important because it can affect your motivation, it can affect your actions, your beliefs, your behaviors, and then the way that you move your body into those areas or out of them. And your framework of thinking, what is healthy? What is unhealthy? What are things that encourage connection with others? What are things that encourage disconnection?